Yo, what is up guys? How's it going today? My name is Syratube and welcome back to our 10 to 100 mil flipping series. I've already bought our Fashionscape item today, which is the Fremenic Yellow Cape, which, I don't know, I think it looks pretty good, but overall, we kinda look a little bit like a noob. Either way, starting this episode with 15,430,000 GP today, I'm hoping we can get some awesome gains. Let's aim for 2 mil this episode. I'm going to be using GE Tracker to actually analyze these overnight flips, so hopefully you guys do enjoy the maximum profits we'll be able to make from them. And of course, if you are interested in checking out GE Tracker, you can use my link in the description below. On top of that, leave a like if you enjoyed, and let's get into it. To start the episode, we're going to be doing some overnight flips. I actually went over to GE Tracker and found that the amethyst crystals are looking prime for an overnight flip. Right here, you can see that they've been trading around the price of 1,530, and when I just checked the price in game, they were buying for a low of 1,524. I pulled up the candlestick charts here, and if you're not exactly sure how to read these candlesticks, don't worry. I'm coming out with a series on the channel which talks all about investing, and we're going to be going through how to actually read these candlesticks. But anyway, the information I'm getting from this is that amethyst crystals are not breaking highs of 1,582, and when they tried to, there was a massive sell-off with the item price closing at 1,502. So we can see that they want to trade for around 1,500 at their low point, at least within this weekly time frame. I'm hoping to pick some up for 1,510 overnight, which I do think will be possible with some of these sell offers here. As you can see, the low here is 1,512, so buying them for 1,510 overnight doesn't seem that unrealistic. We went ahead and listed 3,000 of them, and I'm hoping for the best. Here is what we've got going for our overnight flips. I know that a lot of the time we flip similar items, but when I'm doing overnights, I don't want to explore that far into new items, just because I'm pretty confident with the ones that I've already found, and we have been able to make money on them in the past, so why change it up? I was going to go through every single item here on GE Tracker, but to be respectful of the video's length, we're going to skip that. Although in the future, every time I do an overnight, I will at least check out one item on GE Tracker and analyze it for you guys, so you guys can see the process of how I actually do that. 5 of our 6 overnights have bought overnight, which is really nice. We're gonna turn around and sell these and see how much profit we've made. And we come back to our grand exchange looking like this. Very nice. I think we made about 280k overnight there, which is pretty good. We're going to go ahead and do another overnight session, so I'm gonna try to find some more items that we can flip overnight. Here are the overnights for round 2. I have a good amount of confidence that Green Dragon Leather is actually going to buy. It just experienced a slight little crash, so I'm hoping we can pick up a few cheap ones here for under 1,600 each, which would be an incredible deal. On top of that, I decided to list some sharks and some dragon arrows. I have high confidence those will hit as well. The stamina potions and the nature runes I'm not as confident about. Fire runes going to be consistent profit, and the Syratube and Dehyde bodies, I just kind of threw them in there as something new to try, just to see if it's good. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my live commentary, so I'm recording this in post, but everything bought overnight and I was super pumped about it, so I turned it around and started selling everything, and the sharks, dragon arrows, and stamina potions sold instantly for some great gains. I also got one of these Syratube and Dehyde bodies off very quickly as well, and in this clip, the nature runes are starting to sell off as well, so we hit a very solid margin on a lot of these items. I was hoping that the Green Dragon Leather was going to sell pretty quickly, but that turns out it wasn't the case. We're actually going to turn around and sell them for a little bit less than we were hoping for, but everything was performing really solid on this overnight flip here, and I could not be happier. This was about an hour later. You can see we made a lot more progress on our sell offers. We did have to sell the Green Dragon Leather for 1,595 each, which obviously was not optimal, but we still made profit on that, so everything was still looking really solid at this point in time. And here we are again with another overnight flipping session in this episode. I know we've had a lot of overnight stuff this episode, but I'm going ahead and showing you guys a couple more items that you can try overnight. Here in this clip, I had a lot of confidence in all of these flips besides the Rings of Recoil. I didn't really think they would flip overnight, but I decided to give them a try anyway, just so we could showcase a lot of items in this series. So I was pretty confident going into this overnight session just because we hit so many overnight flips the previous night, so I was really excited to get into it. We did list the sharks again here because they performed so well overnight that I did not want to neglect them, and again, was feeling super positive going into this overnight session. When I opened up RuneScape and saw this clip, I was like ecstatic. I kind of felt like Jordan Belfort making millions of GP, but almost everything had bought besides the Diamond Bolts E and the Rings of Recoil, which I sort of expected the recoils, but not as much the Diamond Bolts E. Here was the immediate turnaround offers that I had put in to sell, and the raw Quran ones went immediately. They had actually spiked overnight to like 500 GP each, so I really actually lost a little bit of GP on them, but I mean, I made money, but I lost potential gains, if that makes sense. I could have sold them for a little bit more if I had some patience, but the rune arrows were also going really fast, the adamant darts were going really fast, which I expected. These are typically items that flip very, very quickly, and even if you do high volumes of them overnight, they are easy positions to exit, meaning easy positions to sell, because they are so high volume and so highly traded. Anyway, the Sharks, Wrench and Champas, and Rune Dart tips, I had to wait a little bit longer to sell those off, but it wasn't a big deal. I was happy either way, because again, we had a great night of overnight flipping. This is where we lost our great streak of overnight luck. We were able to sell the Sharks, but we had to sell them for a loss of 6 GP each. We did not get the original margin that I thought we would on the Sharks, but that's honestly okay. That was the only item that we did sell for a loss here. Besides that, we made at least a 1 GP margin on everything else. Actually, I think a 2 GP margin on everything, so it was still a very strong overnight session, and really, I cannot complain about that. Usually, when you do overnights, you won't succeed on every single item, so you should be expecting to either lose a tiny fraction of GP or just not buy an item out at all and not gain any GP. Anyway, moving on to yet another overnight session here. Lots of new stuff listed on this overnight session. The Brine Sabers are new to me overnight, and I was super excited to try out all of these blighted sacks as well, since I had not really flipped them yet, and I thought the best way to attack it would have been to try an overnight. I did notice that the Zolver scales were also at a very low price, so I thought that that would be a good item to flip overnight as well. Not too much to say here. Again, a lot of action on the overnights, really nothing to complain about. Let's turn around and sell it, and we'll see how I did. Here, I was nervous about the House Teleports and the Blighted Vengeance sacks. They are items I don't typically flip overnight, and they weren't exactly looking great at this moment, but since we did so well on everything else, I didn't really let it get to me too much because we were still profiting. Of course, the depressing follow-up clip where I show you the losses. We lost a good bit of money on the House Teleports. I think we sold them for a 13 GP each loss. And the Blighted Vengeance sacks we also sold for quite a big loss actually. That was about a 20 GP loss, looks like it was about 18 GP each. That kind of stunk because it took about 100k off the top of our profits, which of course I wasn't too happy about. Finally, at the end of the episode, we decided to do an active flipping session. Here, I'm flipping the Furies first, and I have the Nature Runes and Adamant Darts listed as well. The Furies were not flipping for a great margin, but they were going really quick, so I thought might as well just flip them and get them out of the way, and it was a good start to the active session. Here is about the halfway point in our session, and these U longbow unstrungs were flipping like crazy. They were holding like a 10 GP margin, I think, and I think I bought and sold 1,000 of them like 3 or 4 times. As you can see here, they were currently at a 12 GP margin, so I just kept cycling that back and forth. Decided to do the Rune Halberds just for fun because I was trying to look for new items to do, and I was thinking of items that are members and less traded than other items, and I thought the Halberds might be a good item to try. Turns out we didn't make any money on those. We basically broke even. The Sears rings were flipping for a 20k margin, but we ended up selling them for a 13k margin. This is where I ended the session. Again, it was only a quick 20-minute session, so no crazy gains. I think we made like 150k. There we are, wrapping up the episode today. We made 1.2 mil this episode, as you can see in the bottom left. We started this episode with 15.4 mil and ended it with 16.6 mil. Really happy with those gains, and most of it came from overnight flipping. Again, guys, thank you for all the continued support on the series. It's literally been incredible, so thank you so much. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. See you guys next time.